Hello, and welcome to this production of Connecting Galaxy I/O to an InTouch application. My name is Rufus Handsome. I'm a systems consultant with InSource Solutions. The focus of this video is on communications and linking of Galaxy I/O, specifically from a one-to-where DAServer to a device integration object that resides on an application object server, and finally placing that information on the screen of an InTouch application. Let's begin the demo. The first step is to verify that your DAServer is configured correctly and functioning. Here we open up the Systems Management Console, we locate the DAServer that's installed, and kind of click through the configuration to make sure we're pointing in the right direction. We have our topics defined, and we have our device items. Next, we move on to the GR node. On the GR node, we'll open up the IDE. And here you see that I have a device integration object that I created. It happens to be an OPC client object because every one-to-where DAServer is also an OPC server as well. So I created an instance of an OPC client template. I configured it correctly to point to my DAServer, or where the server node where my DAServer is located. And under the server name, I have DASMB TCP, which is the actual DAServer executable file that's running, or the server that's listening for connections. I configured my scan groups to reflect the topics or the device groups in my DAServer configuration, and these are the items that I want to see or be able to reference on an InTouch screen. Once I have that configured, I deployed it, and so now it's ready to go. Here we have some automation objects that I've created, and now I'm going to link them to the device integration I/O. I'll open up the object, and here we have my attributes. I want flow, level, pressure, and temperature. So on flow, I come down here to the I/O, click on the box, and it'll bring up the Galaxy browser, and I browse to my device integration object that I created, and I'm going to select what I need to see, which is flow. Okay, and I'll just continue down the tree. So I want level now. Going to get pressure. And temperature. And now I'm ready to save and close. Once I've saved and closed, now I can deploy that object. Once the object has been successfully deployed, I can now view that object in Object Viewer to look at the raw real-time data. Okay, it'll take a moment for Object Viewer to populate. Once it successfully populates, let's find our attributes here that we want to see. So these are the 4. I'll add them to the watch window. And as you can see, we are getting data. This is simulated data, but the key point is we are getting data. So now we can put that information or reference that information on an InTouch graphic or an InTouch screen. Okay, let's open up our window maker environment. Here I have a blank screen. So let's put some data on the screen. We'll start by keeping it really simple. At this point, all I just want to see is some numbers. Double click on it, and I want to see a value display. It'll be in a real format. If I double click in here, it'll bring up the browser, and I want to get information from the galaxy. I click on default galaxy and it brings that up, and so in this case let me come down and find my object that I created, which is Pro TK01, and here I want to see the flow. And I click OK, and that's set for the flow. Let's go to runtime. And as you can see, we can see the flow. Now let's add an orchestra graphic. Go to this the graphic symbol library. I'm just going to find any old analog meter. I'll put it on the screen. Double click on it, and here it's asking, if you look for the input here, it'll ask you where is the data coming from. So let's click in the box, and here I want to see level. And also be sure to configure a minimum and maximum display units. Let's see. Actually, let's find a different one. Let's see, regular analog meter, tachometer, or this one. This will do fine. So here we'll set the value, and again I want level, and I want to set the maximum of, let's say, 60,000. Select OK, and we go to runtime. And as you can see, we have values. So this concludes this brief tutorial video on how to tie data from a DAServer through an application object called a device integration object to an InTouch screen. If you find yourself having problems getting started with InTouch applications or any Wonderware applications, feel free to visit our website, our training website at www.insource.solutions/features training calendar. This right here will bring up a website that gives you the opportunity to see what the available classes that InSource has to offer and where they're going to be located. Also, be sure to check out our Knowledge Center, and it provides you with many useful tips and tricks, and also some videos like this one to help you solve problems and determine solutions, and it'll be really beneficial for you. But again, thanks for watching.